Hello everybody, my name is Neil Bruce, and before we get into normal proceedings today, I have some really sad news for the channel. Piney Meat Gang, our favourite, has sadly passed away and been replaced with this new haircut, and it's not as good as the original. All we can say is smash like to RIP Piney. Without further ado, let's get into the rest of the video. So today we're going to be talking about things that I have stopped buying as a financial minimalist, because the last financial minimalism video that I made did really well, so I thought that this is a topic that people would love to hear about. So one of the first things that I stopped buying when I was going on this journey to become more minimalist with my finances was branded things in supermarkets, so like branded food basically. And honestly, it is quite staggering the amount of money that you can save on this type of stuff. And one of the main things that I stopped buying was Weetabix, and I started buying Tesco's equivalent wheat biscuits. Now, it's quite honestly phenomenal the difference in price between these two. So for 48 of these Weetabix biscuits, you pay roughly £4.80 unless you've got a reduction on it. But for the Tesco equivalent, and I checked all the nutritional values, they're pretty much the exact same product, and it is £3 cheaper. It is £1.80 for these 48 biscuits. And when you put that into perspective, when I eat 3 of these every single day of my life, you know, throughout an entire year, this adds up to a phenomenal amount of money that you are spending on Weetabix that can be saved by buying the Tesco equivalent. And this can go for so many different products in the supermarket. If you're someone that is a home cook, you might think that buying the more expensive ingredients is going to make your food taste better. But honestly, in my experience, I found that in the general things that I'm buying, it doesn't make that much of a difference, because I do like to put like a bunch of herbs in things and they kind of detract from the original thing anyway. I think when it comes to meat and things that are not as sustainably produced, it is quite good to not only reduce your intake of that, but kind of buy higher quality of these things. But, you know, when it comes to small things like canned tomatoes and breakfast cereals, it really doesn't matter what you're buying, and so you can just save so much money in that department. Another thing that I've stopped buying going down this sort of branded route is branded clothing. And honestly, I've mentioned it in videos before, but the amount of money that people can spend on plain t-shirts that have a brand on them is staggering. Like a plain t-shirt like this one, but if it just said like Balenciaga on it across the front or whatever, that's like £200 immediately just for a plain t-shirt. Whereas this one, I'm pretty sure comes from Next, and it was like £3. So just the amount of money that you can save by just not being as snobby when it comes to clothes is quite phenomenal. And you know, you might want a higher quality like jumper or something, or some jeans, but when it comes to just t-shirts and plain things that are kind of like just worn every single day, it really doesn't matter on the brand that it has on it. Another thing that I've stopped buying in my financial minimalism journey is alcohol. And this is quite a tough one to kick for a lot of people, because, you know, you go on your night out and you're having a great time and you have a couple drinks with the boys, and that's just kind of a traditional thing to do. But the amount of benefit I've seen in my life from replacing that alcohol with water is like staggering. The amount of weight that I've lost in my face, the amount of weight that I've lost in my body, the amount of weight in my pockets that I've gained back from not buying these pints is great. Like, the amount of money that you can spend on a night out is quite frankly ludicrous when it comes to the amount of pints that you buy in the bar, the entry fee to a club, the drinks you buy in a club. You know, alcohol can make you spend a lot more money than you have to. And as much as it can be a great time here and there, when it comes to going out a lot or drinking a lot of alcohol, then, you know, you can rack up a big bill on that type of thing. And I think this also can apply to like fizzy juice. You know, if you're having your dinner in your house and you're just drinking water every time instead of fizzy juice, you know, that's going to be a great benefit to your teeth, to your health, and to your bank balance, because fizzy juice instead of water, you know, replacing that every single day can be a lot of money saved. And the final thing in this video that I've stopped buying on my journey to financial minimalism is takeaways. And again, takeaways are just such a staple in a British household, I feel. Like, people can have traditions surrounding takeaways. Like, every Friday we get a takeaway because that's just kind of what we do. But when you look at it, you can spend so much money on takeaways. If the average takeaway is like £10 per person, throughout an entire year, if you were to buy a takeaway every single Friday as some sort of tradition, then you would end up spending £520 per head. If that's a family of 4, then that is £2,000 a year on takeaways. And so for me personally, I wouldn't have a takeaway that often. I'd maybe have, like, you know, a Domino's a month, I think was kind of the average thing that I was doing. Which again, when you take it into consideration, can be like £240 a year saved. And I think it's tips like these and just kind of being knowledgeable of things that you can do differently to kind of save money, and constantly being conscious of the amount of money you're spending. It can really help you in the long run when it comes to, you know, saving for your future and just being smart with your money. That's all I'm really wanting to do with this video, is just show you that it is possible to save more money, to be more fruitful in your future when it comes to like investing and being more secure with your finances. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd really appreciate a subscription to the channel and a like on the video. If you have any thoughts or feelings regarding this video, I'd love to hear them in the comments below. Just thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.